I've just observed, especially recently, that folks who are already trying to do all of these different platforms and have a following and build an email list and do high ticket one on one coaching, they're tired. And I think there's a better way. Hey, I'm Gina Bianchini, and this is People Magic, where I show you the easiest way to create a $1 million community. Let's dive in with our next question.
Hey Gina, I've been a content creator for the past 3 years. My niche is career advice for college graduates. I'm 33 and trying to keep up with TikTok, Instagram, and LinkedIn. I'm tired. The unpredictability is starting to get to me. I make a bit from brand deals, but they're a ton of work. I also have an email newsletter with 2,000 subscribers on Kit that I really like doing. I make a bit of money from it, but I want a new revenue stream where I can make a minimum of $20,000 a month. I'm trying to decide between going all in on private, high-ticket one-on-one coaching and doing a course and a membership. Should I do all three at once? What are the pros and cons of each?
So, first of all, one of the things we should start doing on this show is get this level of detail. So, it's super helpful. And hopefully, for folks who are listening to this or watching this on YouTube, you can get a much better sense of what people are navigating. So, here's a couple of things that are really striking to me. Number one is you are right to think about new revenue streams. You are right to think about, okay, how do I think about coaching? I love coaching. I love helping people one-on-one. I want to think about how does that relate to, or do I do that in addition to small group coaching and a cohort course and. And first of all, you have a great audience. So, this is nothing to sneeze at of 2,000 subscribers on Kit. So I love that. I really want you to consider and think about, number one, where do you get the most energy? And as you are comparing coaching to community to small group coaching, one-on-one, high ticket coaching, I would just say the pros of one-on-one high ticket coaching are that you just don't need very many people to do it. The flip side is if you are already feeling pretty spent, it's hard to get super excited about that kind of intensity of that one-on-one coaching. Again, not impossible, a lot of really good things about it. We have lots of people on Mighty who are successful with one-on-one coaching. I've just observed, especially recently, that folks who are already trying to do all of these different platforms and have a following and build an email list and do high ticket one-on-one coaching, they're tired. And I think there's a better way. And so here's the thing that I would encourage you to think about next. Number one, create a small group cohort. So a cohort challenge, let's just call it a cohort, that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Let's call it 4 to 6 weeks. Do something that is finite, that is about scale before just assuming you should do one-on-one coaching, and do one-on-one coaching plus all your social media stuff, plus your email list, plus your community. And instead say, okay, can I put social on autopilot for a while? Can I utilize my subscribers on Kit for my newsletter into a sales engine for this, let's call it a 4-week cohort? And then can you charge a significant amount of money for that 4-week cohort, whether it is $59, whether it's $1,000. It depends on what is that transition that you are tapping into. Obviously, for career coaching, the only question that I have is the age group that you're targeting and just what they have to invest. But, if you start with what results are you going to be able to get someone who is a recent college graduate, what results are you going to be able to get people who are recent college graduates? Let's say they have $499. I'm making this up. So let's just start to do a little bit of math here. Before you get to $20,000 a month, think about what would you need to do to get $20,000 from a cohort? Well, if you're charging $499, just going to do a little back of the envelope, you only need 40 people. You need 40 people out of 2,000 on your email list and your social media following to validate that you can get people to pay you a high ticket and that you can make $20,000 in a month from a 4-week cohort. Then translating that cohort to an ongoing membership actually could become quite easy. And then you start to think about, well, the ongoing membership could be, let's say it's $48 a month. That's our average price across all of Mighty Networks that people are charging, especially for professional networks and for health and wellness, other important interests. That's 417 people to get to $20,000. So not a lot, especially if you already have 2,000 people on your email list and you have your social media following and probably your contacts too. So what you might want to start to play with is how can you do this in a scalable way? Now, if you want to have one-on-one coaching, you could do that, but I wouldn't start there. I think that's the kind of thing that you can decide after you've got this engine running, whether or not you want to layer it on top of it versus starting with one-on-one coaching and then trying to add the community after. I think at that point, you'll just be really, really tired. And you're already starting from a place where you're tired. So start with something that has a beginning, a middle, and an end. Use that beginning, middle, and end to then launch into a community where you are connecting people to each other so that they're actually the ones who are coming back for each other, not you and not your content and not your one-on-one coaching. Do that for 90 days. Do that for 90 days and then think about whether or not you want to layer on top of it one-on-one coaching. I'd also add, what could you do to focus on one, not 10, or even 5 social media channels at one time? That could save you a tremendous amount of energy that I would funnel into how can I create this cohort where my framework that I've created for recent college grads, I'm going to actually help people make friends. I'm going to help them. And I've actually done this. I helped a friend of mine start a very successful professional mastermind, for lack of a better way of putting it, a professional mastermind of 8 to 12 people, and scaled it to 30,000 of these groups around the world. And when you can do that in a self-service way such that they are finding value from each other, the quest that you set up for them, the monthly themes, weekly calendar, daily actions, that scales so much faster, because if you can get 40 people paying you $4.99 to validate the idea, then moving it into a membership that then you can scale to that $20,000 a month. Again, 417 people at $48. It might even be, let's just play around with the numbers for a second. At $59 a month, that means you need 339 people. And if you want to bring the price down, it's 500 or 600 people. They can bring each other in too. It doesn't require you to have an audience on social media or your email list that you just pound with offers. You're creating something that you have the framework. The value is in who you're introducing to each other, and that just scales well beyond $20,000 a month. Now, to just, as some would say, steel man this, so make the other side of the argument. If you want to make $20,000 a month, you could also find 5 people that are going to pay you $3,500 a month for one-on-one coaching. I worry about how much energy that takes. Again, it might be awesome, but that also could be pretty draining. It also doesn't scale. The only way you scale that is by taking more of your time or raising your price. And given who you're focused on, my hunch is that there's a bigger market with a $48 a month way for them to meet people who are on the same professional path, and you being able to provide them ways to apply professional success into their life. This is a critical transition in people's lives. My hunch is just that this is a much, much more effective thing to do given where you are as a scaling membership validated with a initial cohort over 4 or 6 weeks. So hopefully that's helpful. The only thing I will say that I would not do is don't do a freemium community, whatever you do. It's just, you are literally going to burn out as a creator if you try to scale a freemium community, whether your freemium is on a Facebook group or, something else, and then you have these programs, and then you have, one-on-one coaching. I personally think you can always add one-on-one coaching later after you understand or validate, of your social media following. Can you get enough of them at a high enough ticket price to act? And then they're taking care of each other. It's actually much less work to run a community than it is to do one-on-one coaching. And then you can always add one-on-one coaching later. And you can always add one-on-one coaching after you've determined that this approach doesn't make sense for you. So hopefully that is helpful. And it was fun to talk about some specific numbers. So thank you for sharing. And hopefully this is helpful. And as always, you can go into much more detail on what the numbers look like and what are the specific pillars of what I call people magic profit. 9 pillars, fastest, easiest way of creating this kind of 4-week cohort and ongoing membership such that people are coming back for each other. They're not dominating your time. I'm Gina Bianchini. This is People Magic. If you found this episode helpful, do me a favor. Leave a comment, ask a question, and make sure that you are subscribed so you don't miss next week's episode. If you want to know exactly how to build a $1 million community, click the link in the description to get access to our full free course.